Hey guys, Hello Road here. Pretty sure you already know what I'm doing today from the title, but someone in the comments from my last video gave me a recommendation that when I read it, I was like, yes, that is a great idea, but I'm gonna take it one step further. I'm gonna pull up the comment on screen for you can see who said it and what they said. I assume this is one of my subscribers, but one of my subscribers named Anton-Constantin, sorry if I'm butchering your name, but I think that's how you pronounce it, Anton-Constantin, he put the comment on my last video saying, he said, I'd love to see if you have your own spell ideas. And I'm going to take that one step further and just talk about all of my ideas for Wizard 101 in 2021. This is going to be a video of every little thing I think would be great for Wizard 101 in the future, including my own spell ideas. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is I feel like it would be really cool if they gave you choices for spell animations, which I know sounds weird, choices for spell animations, but just think of it this way. Let's say a 7-pip spell. Let me open my book real quick so you guys can see my life spells. So let's pick any spell. I'm gonna pick the higher pip spells just because you use those more because of like higher levels. They're good no matter like almost whatever level you are. So for example, let me try to find the spell where, okay, Centaur. Centaur, I have nothing against the spell. I think the spell looks really cool with the arrow breaking apart and coming back together. But when you unlock Centaur and you like, let's say you don't have anyone carry you, you use it every single fight a lot. Like every time you fight a boss, that is your highest hitting spell. So you're gonna use it over and over and over again. And it's to the point where I got sick of the animation. Like I love the animation, but I've seen it so many times and so many times just from leveling up that I just got tired of seeing it. And then when I unlocked Forest Lord, I was like, finally, I got a new spell, only to see that Forest Lord animation was like 20 times longer, and I was like, damn. And I know they're doing an animations update to like speed spells up, but I was just like, I really wish for Centaur that I could pick a different, like it could look different, and I really wish for Forest Lord that they could speed it up. Now again, the speed up is already coming, so thank you King's for that, but I feel like it would be really cool, really dope if they had added a mechanic and you can change the way a spell looks. Like it would be the exact same spell, the same damage, maybe a different name, and it just gives you a choice like, oh, do you want it to look like this or do you want it to look like that? Like for example, trying to think, there's no really, okay, like for example, there's let me get my Kookaburra or however this, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back guys. I had to go get my, what is this pet card? It's a Kookaburra, right? Yeah, Kookaburra. I had to go get my Kookaburra. I'm back, and I'm gonna continue what I was saying. So, for example, I know these are two completely different spells with different attack and yada yada yada, but this is just an example. Let's say Leaf Storm and Ratatasker Spin. Let's say they had the exact same damage, and they were basically the same spell. The only difference is Ratatasker Spin looks different than Leaf Storm. But let's say they had the exact same damage and everything, and they're both 4 pips. So let's say that you had a 4-pip trainable life AoE spell. It would be cool if they gave you the option to pick either Leaf Storm or Ratatasker Spin. Now I know they're not going to do this because the whole thing with Ratatasker Spin is like, it's making them so much money, so they're not going to pick this spell. But I'm talking about all the spells, not just Ratatasker Spin and Leaf Storm. I'm just giving an example to show you, like, with Ratatasker Spin and Leaf Storm, if they have the exact same damage, and this was like a trainable spell you didn't have to pay for, why wouldn't they just give you the option of, okay, do you want it to look like Leaf Storm, or do you want it to look like Ratatasker Spin? And then give you that choice where you can choose, okay, I'd prefer if it would look like Leaf Storm, I prefer if it looked like Ratatasker Spin. And another thing you can go with that is, instead of forcing you to choose only once, they could give you the choice of, like, do you know how they have training point reset? They could have choice reset. So just like spell elements, like with spell elements, let me go to my spell elements. There we go, spell writing. Like for spell elements, they would just have to integrate it as spell elements. You would get a spell, and then you would choose if you want it to go up or do you want it to go down. And then if let's say the top is Ratatasker Spin and the bottom is Leaf Storm, and you just choose which way you want to go with the spell, and you choose how you want it to look. Now, and then if you change your mind, you just reset it. And I don't know if it costs money to reset anything. Let me see. Reset. Yeah, it costs crowns. So they can invent a way to make spells look like other spells, like give you a choice instead of just like, you know, different damages. Give you a choice of what a spell looks like, and then exactly like spell elements, you go down a tree, you go down the other tree, and then whenever you want, if you want to change it, you just reset it for crowns, and then you can just go back the other tree. That was a way that would like make it worth their while, because they would get crowns out of it. Like they would make money, not a lot, but like 100 crowns isn't that much. So 100 crowns to reset is perfectly fine in my opinion. So it would give us more choices and give us to make our wishes more diverse, because every time you see a fire wizard, they're just gonna rage and bull every time, or they're gonna use a Rain of Fire if it's like a single hit. Like I played this game for so long that I've seen these spells over and over and over again, that I think it would just be cool if they gave you a choice of, okay, instead of having it look like Rain of Fire, let's make it look like a whole different spell. And then, alright, now you can choose between Rain of Fire and a different spell. Now, I know it's a lot of work. It will probably take a lot of money to do it. I just think it would be a really nice thing to do for the fans, in my opinion. And again, they can make money off of it by having a reset if you want to switch. Or they could have like stitching, where you just have to pay up front and before you even do it. That way, if you want to change Rain of Fire, you just stitch it to another spell. Like, I don't know if anyone has thought of this but me. And something else, I've never heard anyone talking about this. So if there's a video out there talking about this, I'm not trying to steal your idea. I have never heard anyone say this besides me. I just think this is a great idea of giving you the choice of changing the way a spell looks. That way you don't get tired of the spell. That's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing I wanted to talk about is I feel like they should add more schools. So I'm going to go to Wisteria real quick, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about Wisteria. But Wisteria has like the bootleg schools, where it's like they're named differently, but you don't actually learn any of these schools. Like here's the flag of the 7 bootleg schools, and I don't know what they're all called, but I know balance is equilibrium. Let's just go to all of them real quick while I talk. Oh, they're over here. So I don't know why they added these without actually, you know, giving spells for them. I just think it would be awesome. Okay, are you gonna tell me what your school is called? I know, like, if you walk up to it, it's supposed to tell you what it's called. I'm eating something right now, so sorry if you can hear that in the video. But can you tell me what it's called? Oh, you're not gonna tell me. Well, I'll put it up on screen. I'll find it. Oh, there we go. Tempest. So like Tempest is storm. I know there's a spell called Tempest, but it doesn't matter. And Ember. The school fire is Ember. There's so many like. I know they're like bootlegged, but there's so many schools out that they already created. Like they already made Ember School. They already made Chaos School. Why not make it a real thing? Like, why not give you the choice of changing your school, or like having a variant? As in, let's say you choose Myth and you're going down the Myth line and you get to Wisteria, and then they give you the choice, like, do you lose all your Myth spells and then gain Chaos spells instead? Like, why not give every school a special variation to it? Like, let's say you really enjoy Death, and then you see Spirit spells, and Spirit spells are like really unique in their own way. You're like, wow, this looks really cool. Or like this can tie back to my other idea. My other idea being change the way a spell looks. Instead of having a life Forest Lord, you could have, well, I don't know what it's called for life. What is ice called? Okay, Frost. Instead of having an ice frost giant, you could have a frost 7-pip spell, and you choose, do you want the ice version of it, or do you want the frost version of it? This really ties back to what I was just saying. And like Tempest, the Tempest school, do you want a storm version of Tempest, or do you want something different that's from the Tempest school, and it is the same exact spell but looks different? So they can either combine those two ideas together to just have, you know, use what they already have in the game to just give you alternative spell choices, or they could just make a whole new schools, a whole new 7 schools. And I don't know if they would put it in the beginning when you first choose a character. The way I would do it is I would have it that when your wizard hits max level, you can evolve your magic. That you can evolve into the next tier of spells. So for example, let's say for a light, well again I don't know what it's called for life. Let's say for a storm, they hit level 140, they're done the game, they finish the game completely. At the end of the game, I think it would be really cool if they gave you the choice of restarting the game, but instead of being a storm, of being a Tempest wizard. I feel like that's a wonderful idea. It would make the game, it would give the game a fresh look, and it would give more like replayability. And I know there's 7 different schools, so you can already replay on the 7 different schools, but some people already have 7 max level wizards of every single school, so it would allow people to replay the game even more. And again, that's a lot of work, because then you would have to add like, well, you don't really have to add anything. You can just change all of the clothing to just the variety. You have to change the it wouldn't be really that much work in the sense of clothing, because you can just change like the element on the clothes. It could be the exact same clothes, just change it from storm to tempest, and you just change the symbol on it so it just looks like tempest. So all the clothes could be the same. Now the spells would be a lot of work, but you wouldn't have to make any new worlds. You just have to make the spells for the school. So it's like making shadow magic. It's like making astral magic. Like before, star, sun, and moon magic was never a thing, but they made a lot of spells for it, and they made it part of the game. Just how they made spells for shadow, just how they made moon spells, just how they made suns and star spells, they could make alternate spells of different types, of different elements, or bootlegged elements, however you want to call it. I just think it would be a really good idea to, one, have different animations so you don't get tired of the same animation, or you can pick your favorite animation for that certain spell, or 2, to give you the choice of selecting a variation of more schools. This game has been out for a very, very long time, and I don't really consider shadow magic, star magic, sun magic, or moon magic to be another school. I just think it's something that advances your current school. I don't see it as like a special school in its own right. I feel like they should add more base schools, like where you start off at, and your beginner spells is from that school. Because shadow magic is high tier shadow spells and like mid tier celestial spells. That's all after you selected your main school. I feel like they should add more main schools to the game. So that's my second idea. Again, the first one is just more animations, more choices. The second one is more schools, just more base schools. And my last and third idea, well, to answer your question, do I have any ideas for my own spells? To be honest, at the moment, no. I could think of something. Like, off the top of my head, I'm wearing Santa outfits, so I can think of like a spell with Santa, or like reindeer. Like well, they already have reindeer nights, so they already have reindeer spell, but they don't have a spell with Santa in it. They have Krampus, but they don't have Santa. And then for Halloween, they have the Headless Horseman, but they don't they have like a skeleton spell, but it's not like a spooky, scary skeleton spell. I don't know if they have like any, like, they got like a pumpkin spell. I know Headless Horseman has a pumpkin on his head, but they could have like a pure pumpkin themed spell, or like an autumn themed, fall themed spell, where it's like all about pumpkins, and it can just be like a pumpkin spell. Like I can think of spells on top of my head super easily, but I don't have like any spells that like I've been dying to see. There's no like any animal that I'm like, oh, they have to make a spell out of this. I just think like thinking of your own spell isn't really that hard, because it's just so many things in the real life that you can just put it into a game. Now again, so to answer your question, no, I don't think there's any spells. To answer your question, no, there is no spells off the top of my head that I really want to see in the game. I could make my own spells. Like I can make a spell like I got chains. Like you can make a monster straight out of chains. It's just a chain grabbing you or hitting you. Like that would be awesome. Like a Ghost Rider type of spell. Like there's so many spells that I can just think of off the top of my head. But no, there's nothing like I wanna see in the game that I'm like, yes, I want this in the game right now. There's nothing. I just think of it off the top of my head. And the last thing I'm gonna say is just like, I think it would be cool if they made a Wizard 101 Part 2, or a Wizard 101 2, or Wizard 202. I don't know what you want to call it, but it would just be cool if our wizards like had kids with other schools, and now they were like fusion schools. So let's say like I'm a life wizard. Let's say I have a kid with death, Now, life and death is kind of hard to think of like a school for life and death combined, but they can just be like a mix. Like give it like a little bit of life properties, a little bit of death properties, and bam, have your own school. Or like the same thing with ice and fire. It's kind of hard, but with ice and fire, you have water. You can just have water spell. I mean, water school. So that's kind of easy if you think of it that way. But like storm and I don't know what storm would confuse into. Like you can have an air school. Air is like one of the most basic elements. I don't know what combination you would do to make air, but I feel like you can add an air school. You can have like a toxic school. So maybe like storm and fire, maybe it makes toxic. Now you have like a poison school. I just think there's like so much more potential for other schools to be added to the game. And the game has been out for so long that I'm really just surprised that they haven't added any more spells to the game. I mean, any more schools. I'm surprised they haven't added any more schools. And again, I know it's a lot of work, but if they made a Wizard 101 Part 2 or Wizard 202, they would make a lot of money off of it, because now all the old players that don't want to play Wizard 101 anymore because they already beat everything, they would have a reason to come back to the game and like, oh shit, they made a Part 2 of this game? What's new? Like, it would make players so much more interested. And I just like it would be a great idea. It'd be like a super crazy, super fun idea. So King's Eye, if you see this, I love Wizard 101, and I just have so many ideas for it. And I don't really mind if you see this video or not. I was just answering someone's recommendation and giving a little bit of my feedback, my opinion on the game, and just saying like what I think would be awesome for the game, what I think would look like really dope for the future. And if anyone wishes to react to this video, like any Wizard 101 YouTubers, you're welcome to. I don't mind. Just please send me a message, because I feel like this is the kind of video that would get a lot of attention. So if it does blow up in any way or form, just please email me or send me a message on Discord or add me on Discord, and we can talk about it if you want. And I'm open to discussion with this. I really am. I'm just giving my opinion. So yeah, guys, I really hope you have a wonderful day. Stay strong during COVID, and hello world out. See you guys later. Like I said, I'm recording this after I made the video because I forgot to mention this in the video. So like I said earlier, I'm 100% cool with YouTubers reacting to this video. You don't have to ask for permission. If you guys want to like put it in on your channel and react to it, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to ask me, it's fine. I encourage it. I actually, if you guys really enjoy this video and you want people to, and you like want King's Out to notice this video, I myself am not a big Wizard 101 YouTuber. I only have like 600 something subscribers. I'm new to the franchise and I'm not really known. There's a few, there's like Fairy Queen sort of knows me because she rated me, yada yada yada, but almost no YouTuber knows that I exist. Almost no Wizard 101 YouTuber knows that I exist. So if you guys like really want these ideas to reach a wider audience and possibly reach King's Owl, I would recommend that you share this video with Wizard 101 YouTubers. And I don't want you to harass them about it if you're like really passionate, but just ask them to please react to it, or please watch the video and make a video reacting to it and just talking about this video. Because the more YouTubers that talk about this video and this topic that I'm talking about, the higher chance it has of reaching King's Owl's ears and having them actually make a change to the game and actually having them do something about it and hearing our prayers and answering them. So again, if you really enjoy my ideas in this video, the best thing you can do is let other YouTubers know about my ideas. Ask them to watch this video and ask them to react to it. And I promise you, you guys can really make a difference. If enough of you just hit up other YouTubers and have them react to this video, it will get noticed by King's Out. I promise you, it will get noticed by King's Out if enough YouTubers start talking about this. Again, I think it would be a great thing for Wizard 101 if my recommendations were come to pass. This is my attempt of getting you guys to take action for this game. I can only do so much. I'm making the video, but it's your guys' job to like really like push the ideas onto other people if you really want the change. I can live without it. I can live without these changes, But if they were to come to the game, I wouldn't mind paying for it. Even if you have to pay for it, I would not mind. I'd pay money to get alternate wizards. I think that's, I don't mind. So it's just like, but again, I can live without it. So it doesn't affect me that much. But if you guys think you really want to see it, just hit up other YouTubers, and together we can change the game. Together we can really make these changes possible. But it really all depends on how much you guys want to see it. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys later. Hello World out.